about an hour away of going to church in a little bit. I'm gonna put my jacket on because I'm cold. We've had a very kind of cold, rainy few days here and don't like it. It makes for very hard to stay awake. So I'm gonna put my jacket on. Okay, because now I'm not cold anymore. Let's have a conversation. First off, last night, Kamran did talk to, I think, both Bluebird and Sparrow, and there is something definitely going on with layoffs at Lucasfilm. What Sparrow said is that HR has a cone of silence around it. They're not talking to anybody, and there have been a lot of encrypted emails going back and forth. What that means is that these are things they don't want anybody else to get out, and it's probably including lawyers. Okay, they've got probably Disney lawyers and maybe their own at Lucasfilm, because Lucasfilm does have law people working for them. And it's very interesting to me seeing how this is going down, because Kamran even said after he talked to Bluebird that there could be people laid off that we haven't heard about. Got to remember, 4,000 people, and more than one was a big freaking deal. Hey, Cross. Well, look, what I'm thinking is if they've got names on there and they're worried about a Victoria Alonso repeat, they're going to have all their ducks in a row when they start handing out pink slips. Okay, now, again, because they're not done with the layoffs, okay, and I think what they did was they went into the company first in the areas that were pretty much part of Disney proper, Disney Animation, Disney Plus. Oh, and this is interesting. So my LinkedIn account, I have two, and one of them was inundated by visitors from Disney Plus and Disney proper. Okay, so, you know, and there were 33 going in there under the radar, and even with LinkedIn Prime, I can't see who they were. So I'm gonna say they were probably Lucasfilm employees, scared to death. Should listen to me and get your resume straightened out and get the fuck out. Walk out with your dignity intact. Okay. And look, my thing is this. If they're big names, I'm going to give you some big names. Carrie Beck, Candace Campos, that hit Jort, woman whose name is on the blue stocking filing in London. She's a law and business person. You start looking at the names, and there's some other women that work at Lucasfilm that I know are woke, that I know are, look, we need to get to a point, and the wokesters need to understand this. They need to get to a point where they have to understand that their politics is not something they can bring to work. Just being honest here. And the reason why is because you're going to piss off the customers. You're going to make it uncomfortable for people who might even agree with you to work there because you're militant about it, you're fanatical about it, and you won't shut the fuck up. Okay, now that goes for conservatives. That goes for libertarians like me. If that's all you can talk about, go work for the Cato Institute. Hey, Cross. Yeah, I mean, you're there at the pleasure of Lucasfilm and Disney. You're not there at the pleasure of Joe fucking Biden or Dylan Mulvaney or what other mentally ill, demented fucktard that is making an ass of themselves at this particular moment. The world has gone nuts. That's all I'm going to say. And the wokesters are, by and large, the cause of it. Okay, they're the cause of it. Anyway, so I don't. We can assume because these, and look, after last night's scoop was proven right, Damon Lindelof going to was it Esquire and basically saying yes, Disney forced me, basically said you're gone, bye, and that's exactly what Sparrow told Cameron. So if he says there are encrypted emails that only the HR people and maybe the law people at Disney and HR people there can read, then there are big names. Okay, look at the leadership: Lin-Wen Brennan, Carrie Beck. Hey, just some other guy. Oh yeah, well, we'll talk about that. All right. Uh, you know, and then of course you've got the story group. But when you look at this, well, Rain Roberts, she's on the leadership roles. She's on that leadership page. Look it up. Okay. And if it's her, she might be one to cause trouble. Okay, I wouldn't doubt it. She's the one who's one of the producers on The Acolyte. Okay, uh, black girl, really doesn't have much of a resume. Still trying to figure out how the fuck she got her job, and you suddenly realize she got her job because she was black, and that's it. And unlike Carrie Hart, she was able to survive. And really, I don't think she had a lot to do with Solo, but Carrie Hart was one of the producers. And there you go. So, hey, Parabellum, you're right there too. Just some other guy. So, what I'm telling you guys is this: it could be, Carrie Beck, it could be Rain Roberts, it could be Carrie Beck and Rain Roberts and somebody else. There could be like, there were two women that were on the HR list for termination. Their jobs were, and I couldn't find pictures of them. I can't remember one's name, but the other one was Isaquarito or something like that. She's Latina, and she would do the stand-in for Kennedy. Okay, I don't care. Okay, I really don't care. And really, she hasn't made a big splash. But the fact of the matter is, when you look at all those people, and there was, let's see, there was Pablo, Carrie Beck, Phil Sostak, Jason Stein, Ashley Sharp, Rain Roberts, that one woman is Quirito. There are like 7 people on that. Okay, maybe more. I'm probably forgetting some names. That's a lot of people. Now, do I think they'll all go at the same time? No, I don't. And I think the reason why we haven't heard is that there was a story out there, and I can't remember where it was. It was in one of the rags, or it wasn't Puck. It wasn't, it wasn't Puck. And it was interesting because they said, from what I remember, the next round of layoffs is likely going to be creatives. And Carrie Beck would be considered a creative. Rain Roberts, definitely, she's a producer. Sostak is a producer, or is a writer. I I would love to do that. It's just, when I put StreamYards on my computer, for some fucking reason, it doesn't see the camera or the microphone. I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking if I can do a Zoom call and have uh, it downloaded to my phone, I can do a pre-recorded talk for about a half hour with him, and do it like that too. I would do it like that. But let's go back to what I was talking about. So the cone of silence means there's somebody like on that leadership, or maybe several somebody's on that leadership list, uh, and they're not done with the layoffs. And I really, but there are people there, like there's a redhead whose name is Lewin, Janet, something, whatever, Lewin. She's red haired, and she's one of the people. Then there's Candace Campos. A lot of these people are the pawns that protect Kennedy. And what I really think is Iger probably ran a, an intelligence operation on Kennedy, figure out who her inner circle was, and then decided to get rid of them first. So trying to isolate her so she can't do anything. Okay. And that's the big thing. Okay. So what I'm going with now is we give it, because they said the layoffs are going to go into the summer, the beginning of the summer. Okay. I'm going to say this. Look around. We could still get Kennedy fired. Okay, look. What she did at Star Wars Celebration was egregious on steroids. Okay, she needs to go. And Bob Iger knows that. Okay, this is not a stupid man. He's a very clever guy. And he's just, he's probably got an idea of who her inner circle is, and he's going to isolate her on an island by herself and look at her and say, you're retiring after Indy 5 drops no matter what. And what you got to be worried about is you get to retire with your golden parachute or you get fired. Okay. And you leave without it. All right. And Indy 5 has got to make $1 billion. Okay. And it's going to be interesting going forward who gets it, because they know someone's getting it. Okay. They look. Oh yeah, I forgot Matt Martin's on that list too. It could be, we could get Rain Roberts, Candace Campos, Carrie Beck, and maybe some other people. And then we could get story group people like Matt Martin, and then Ashley Sharp, or whatever her last name is. Weird girl. She looks like a Raylo. And she probably is. But we could get something like that, a mixture. Okay. And then the next round gets rid of the rest. Okay. But you've got to eliminate the people that will cause trouble in the company when Kennedy goes. Okay. And, everyone thought these people will leave when Kennedy goes. And no, I don't think Iger can afford it. Okay. I don't think he can afford to wait. Part of me is still trying to weigh the options of, would Indy 5 fare better if Kennedy was forced to retire now, and or would Indy 5 not? And because her name is such a lightning rod of derision and hatred among the fans, I would think that maybe it would help. Look, when you've got normies who know who she is and don't like her, that's a problem. Okay, that's a problem for Disney. And her name is like mud. It is. I mean, the moment you see her name on there, it's like garlic to a vampire, or a crucifix to a vampire. Okay, you know, and a Parabellum. Well, yeah, it's not gonna. I mean, and that's sad because it's probably gonna be good. Okay, it's probably gonna be good. I'm going to say it's going to make about $900 million, which is respectable. But again, from what we were told by Mr. Sparrow, if it doesn't make $1 billion, Kennedy leaves without her golden parachute. Okay. And really, if that's the case, fire her now. Okay, just get rid of her. But, I look at things a little bit differently. My thing about PR is you got to form a narrative that the fans will appreciate. And when the narrative that you've got is, well, the movie's great, but Kathleen Kennedy is still part of Lucasfilm, fans are like, we're fucking not going to see this. All right, we're staying home. So, get ready for anything. Okay. And let's talk about the Favreau rumors. First off, only people who aren't really fans of Star Wars or who've decided to embrace the hate, you know, want a fight between Favreau and Filoni. You could already tell that they're already pushing the goalpost back. Now the next victim of their bullshit is Dave Filoni. And, when I have people telling me, I don't care that he was George's Padawan, he sucks, la la la, he's woke, la la la. It's like, and I want to say this. If you're one of those people, you can sit there and think that you are the only person who was hurt by The Last Jedi and by the sequel trilogy. Okay, fuck off. All right, quit licking your wounds and quit marching around and quit acting like it's about you, because suddenly your flag of victimhood, I was victimized, is narcissistic supply. Okay, and it's basically going to places, whatever YouTube channels yelling and screaming at the time, to get your validation and your narcissistic supply with the other narcissists and nihilists who hate everything validated and renewed. Okay, and the YouTubers make a lot of money on you. They get their own narcissistic and nihilistic supplies refurbished and repowered. They're kind of like several different kinds of Darth Nihilists. Okay, right now they're trying to suck any optimism we have out of Ahsoka. Why? Okay, what the fuck is wrong with you? When you look, I have enough experience with horses and dogs. Now, this bozo behind me, Kojak, is right back there. Hey, Mad is more prone to be a good boy if he gets positive feedback. He's a shepherd. The only time he raises your voice at him is that you're trying to get his attention and he's being a jerk. He's characteristic analogy. Same with the horse. If I've got her on the lunge line, like when, hi Dave, how you doing? I've got her on her lunge line, which is a long line made of nylon. It goes through the ring and the bit that goes to the bit in her mouth, up around her ears to the other one and latches on. And basically, it helps her feel your hands through the bridle. And I've got a lunge whip. You don't touch her with it. You can snap it to make her move. Not that you need to, but it's mostly like horses are trained by pressure. All right. Body language, just like dogs are in lots of ways. If you walk in, my therapy buddy, he hasn't eaten this. Oh, it was great. I'll tell you about it in a little bit, Dave. Um, they respond to body language and they respond to pressure from you. And it doesn't mean you're hurting them, it's meaning they respond to your movement. And it's a very dominant movement. Like when I walk into her stall, I walk in. I just walk in and she moves out of my way. All right. All right. She does. And the lunge whip is nothing more than an extension of my arm to move her in a circle. Okay, because when you see horses and they're on a line and they're going in circles, that's what that is. Um, and if she's running around and bucking and rearing and being a jerk, I make her lunge until she's tired and she doesn't get a treat. If when I say trot, I mean she's like a German Shepherd. She knows about 400 words, and she puts her ears like halfway back, and it's got one cocked to me, and is trotting in a circle. Um, like I told her, she's listening. She's listening. All right. Um, and she's responding the way I want her to. All right. When like if I'm riding her and we're walking or trotting, and I kind of sit back and I say, all you got to do is use your ring finger right here. This is my ring finger that on my hurt wrist, and my other ring finger, and that's all I do is when I ride her on the buckle, is like that, and I sit back in the saddle and we go into a walk, and then I just gently go boom boom like that, and I sit back even further. She stops. That's stop. If she doesn't do it, I get off and I lunge her till she does. Okay, and horses, like dogs, like male human beings in the Marine Corps, when they get tired, they start doing things right because they want it to end. And then when you're happy, then they've learned, because the next time you do that activity, they'll do it the way you want. All right. So, where was I going with this? The carrot or the stick. So when you've got, look, this is where we get into, I didn't see the Clone Wars. Bo-Katan! If you didn't see the Clone Wars and you're pissed off about Bo-Katan, please, for love of all that is holy, fuck off. Okay? Fuck right off. Okay? If you're pissed off about the Book of Boba Fett and you don't know where they got the idea for some of the underlying story, and you're told, why don't you watch a movie called A Man Called Horse? It is not Dances with Wolves, you stupid assholes. All right? Dances with Wolves, look, that is about a guy living next door to a band of Sioux, and in the novel it was Comanches, which is already stupid because by 1863, the Sioux were already well acquainted with white man. Okay, there was already problems with white man and the Sioux. All right, so the fact of the matter is, that movie was stupid. When you watch A Man Called Horse, and it's about a British lord who is on a hunting expedition on the Great Plains, and he gets kidnapped by a band of Sioux Indians, and he's given over to an old lady who lost her husband and her son in battle. He's given over to an old lady to basically be her slave, and she starts calling him Horse. That's what A Man Called Horse is, and that was the Book of Boba Fett with the Tuscans. And what happens is Richard Harris starts to integrate himself and starts showing the tribe different warfighting techniques and everything to defend themselves against their Native American enemies, like the Osage, the Shoshone, the Blackfoot, the Crows, etc. And it that's what Filoni and Favreau and the writers of the Book of Boba Fett did. Now, I'm disappointed with Robert Rodriguez. I think he let Kennedy have too much. Leeway. Favreau was, I think, in Georgia at the at the request of Disney's executives doing something. So I don't know. I don't know what was going on there, but had he been part of it, we probably wouldn't have seen the Skittles bikers gang. The end just like seemed like it was thrown together. And it was cool to see Mando at the behest, yes, at the request or behest. It was cool to see Mando in it, and to see Luke. And I think that episode of Mandalorian, I think there was an episode of Mandalorian because that's why I think Mandalorian didn't seem quite what it was. And I think that appearance of Ahsoka was supposed to lead us into, you know, was supposed to lead us into Ahsoka. Okay, so there you go. And anyway, I don't know. I would like to see the script treatments. Now remember, when George sat down to write these things, Han Solo was an alien. Okay, he was a big green dude. He looked like a Trandoshan for crying out loud. And that he had to change that. Jabba the Hutt was a man, and they changed that. So you can look at the George Lucas script treatments, and then, if you've got Favreau running Lucasfilm with Filoni, and they get together with George, and they combine elements that he wanted. Doesn't necessarily have to be that story, but story elements that he wanted to explore. And the other things, and I really think that Favreau really wants the sequel trilogy to be Heir to the Empire. I will, just a minute. You guys are asking me to go a little bit. So I don't know. I would like to see if I would like to see at least I would like them to put it out in print. Could sell a lot of just his script treatments. Let the fans decide if they want to see it as a movie. Okay. But anyway, back to so for you guys who don't know, and I talked about it yet last night, and then I'm going to talk about some other things. Jon Favreau, and this is not surprising, there isn't a showrunner in Hollywood that hasn't been told this. Even Berlanti was told this. Even what's his face from 1923 was told this. Asoka has to make a huge splash in the ratings for you to get a second season. Okay, and this isn't surprising, but what it is, it's a call to you guys to defeat the Black Pills narrative and to make sure people get out and watch it. Okay, now, it's got good views on the Star Wars channel. The trailer, like, I don't know, I can't remember, like 12,000. I thought there were more, but that's a lot more than a lot of the shows that showed up on the Marvel channel. Okay. So it's up to you guys, but carrot or the stick. Okay? John Favreau gets a carrot, Kennedy gets a stick. Okay. One of the reasons why I do not understand the black pills is how many of them really, I said million, I said million, 12 million, I said that. One of the reasons why I get so pissed off at the black pills is this. They liked Kathleen Kennedy's Andor, and they didn't like Mandalorian, and she had nothing to do with it. And then they sit there and make up far-fetched rumors about, Dave Filoni taking, Mandalorian away and causing some Machiavellian, or doing some Machiavellian strategery. And there's no proof of it. This is made up out of whole cloth bullshit, and it suddenly becomes true. Or, Kennedy sweeping in and taking over Mandalorian. No, she didn't. Okay. You watch Mandalorian, and at the end, there's a new beginning happening. Okay. We got a hint of Grand Admiral Thrawn. Okay. We got the fact of the matter is that, Thrawn, like he did in Heir to the Empire, is doing cloning. And we could get a mix of Heir to the Empire and Dark Force Rising, I think that's what it's called. Or Dark Empire, whatever, that other sequel thing, together. But look, again, when you hear those Favreau rumors, they're attacking Filoni. All right, again, I've got no time for so-called Star Wars fans who hate him for no reason at all. Okay, and these are the people who got pissed off about Bo-Katan, who've never seen Clone Wars. Okay, Bo-Katan, I believe, at least was in the last season of Clone Wars before George sold. So she is a product of his era. He signed off on her. So what the fuck is their problem? Oh, I know. They want to burn it all down and they want Disney to just disappear. We have a problem with people who hold grudges. Okay. And they make it personal. So I want you to go back, get on my channel, and go to the video that I made when I walked out of TLJ. I was sobbing. So when I hear people say, I was hurt by blah, 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 and they're just so fucking hateful and disgusting, it pisses me off. Okay, that movie reduced me to tears. Okay, but like I said last night, I'll be damned if I'm gonna let these motherfuckers win. Okay, what the Black Pill channels and the blobs are doing is spreading Kathleen Kennedy's bullshit everywhere. This is part of her scorched earth policy, so when she leaves, everything is done. Star Wars is dead. If she can't have it, no one can. And trust me, Pablo Hidalgo, who's her little boy, is part of that. Okay. And so when you go to a channel that is talking to somebody like him, or to one of her hired guns like Jason Ward, just sit back, relax, and remember who they're doing this for, okay? All right? And ignore them, all right? And Jason Ward, he's got so many issues with minor girls. He's just disgusting. So, I just ignore him. But, yeah. And when other Black Pill channels start repeating this shit, they're all falling in under Kennedy's line. All right? And the reason why I question their fandom is why do you want it to fail so badly? Why do you want the best part of Star Wars to fail so badly? Why did you like Andor when you hate Kennedy so much? okay? And it's fucking bullshit. All right, this is just, look, you're discovering now, like I did 2 years ago, 3 years ago, no, back in the fall of 2018, that most of the big YouTube channels are phony fuckers who are out for money and grifting. They're grifters, okay? They're grifters. And they don't care about what they say they care about, all right? And a lot of these guys have made money, hi Kyle, on the grift. And to the point where this is all they make money on. Yeah, they are. And they act like they don't care. So when they get upset with me and start screaming about how big Star Wars fans they were and how badly they were hurt about Luke, it's all about Luke, because no one else was ruined. It's like, go watch the video. When I'm done, I was sitting in the car, driving out of the parking lot at the AMC theater, bawling my fucking eyes out. Okay. That's how bad it was for me. But I'm still here. Why? Because again, I will not let these motherfuckers win. And I'm not gonna let the black pills win either. Okay, look, like I've said before, I only do this because I love Star Wars and it's like a hobby, it's not my life. I toy with the idea at times of monetizing my channel, but I'm like, nah, you know. And see, the only one who's even been honest about this stuff with Favreau is Doomcock, because he tells people right out there, I haven't heard anything about Favreau leaving. And if it's not if Cameron's saying that, and then Doomy's saying that, well, there you go. Okay, they just want to destroy Star Wars, so they've become Kathy Kennedy's agents. All right, and that's the bottom line. And the way we win, we watch Ahsoka. We watch all of it. Okay. Now, are they gonna drop it all on the same day? No, they're not. They can't. Okay. It's look, Ahsoka's gonna come out on Wednesdays every week for 8 weeks. All right. And there you go. Okay. So you're just gonna have to be patient with it. And look, if it's good, it'll speak for itself, and the black pills can't do anything about it. They're only as loud as their audience lets them be. Well, that's not the point, Peter. The point is he's very honest and he has integrity and he wants it to be good. Okay. And he's going to tell you the truth about what he's heard. And if he says, I haven't heard anything about Favreau going, take it to the bank. Okay. So, anyway, what else was I going to talk about? All right. So I said, watch Asoka because we basically have to support Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Don't believe a word the black pills are saying about him. And, call him out for pushing the goalpost back on about this Filoni business. That's bullshit, by the way. What else is new? I really can't think of anything. All right. I'm just kind of here doing whatever. All right. Well, when Kennedy's finally gone, I think a lot of these, I think the fandom menace will kind of even out and start to get really quiet. Because I think what we're going to see is a better Star Wars. And I'm going to tell you this: the second season of Ahsoka, and this is why we have to support this season, is where the Veil of the Force is going to come into play, and where uh, the sequel trilogies will disappear. John couldn't put it into this season because of fucking Kennedy. Okay. But, gotta remember this, he did disappear Kyle Ron's mask from the introduction to Mando. And, you know, if you don't, it costs like $100,000 to change an introduction, to change that. You have to go to the animators and the people who do that and tell them what you want, and there you go. I think, look, we'll know the week after Indy drops, depending on what the drop is between opening weekend and the second weekend, if it comes close to $1 billion. And I think they've already planned to make her leave. Okay, and really, I think that, I mean, look, again, we don't know whose names are being, we don't know who HR is talking about with the lawyers on those emails. Okay, so I mean, within the next few weeks, we'll know about Lucasfilm. And the reason why I don't think we heard about Lucasfilm, Pixar, or Marvel is because they're doing this in increments. Okay, so they basically almost wiped out Nat Geo. They combined ABC and Freeform, and they basically did that with a couple other things too. And we don't, and also got rid of social media and PR SJW monkeys, and randos in animation, big name producers. Khaki something or other from kids animation, or producer there, was fired. Okay, I thought she was staying. She was fired. Okay, so there you go. Well, look, she has violated her contract about every way she could, so I don't think that that's an issue anymore. And now you've got, and you've got that lawsuit. Okay, and look, I don't think Mr. Allen has talked to Kamran in a while, since the big blow up with the idiots. And I think they probably did do some things to find out if the acolyte's real. And here's the deal. I mean, I was talking to Kamran face to face, and we're yapping, and I said something had to happen between Headland getting McCarthy to accept the deal. That was 2 weeks. And Headland calling her and saying, "We're done. We're not doing this. Your job your job with this show is done." And it looks to me, again, like Kennedy was told by Bob Chapek at the time, because that's who was running, that's who was the boss. "No, you're not getting the green light for this. I am not giving you the green light." And Kennedy went back and said, "We've got to get this circle of trust, and McCarthy's not one of us. So you've got to figure out what to do with her." And there you go. No, Cameron was. They all decided that Cameron was lying about talking to the lawyer. Okay. And it was, I mean, look, one of you guys, if you're on Twitter, go and talk to Geeky Sparkles about Pro when he was working on her blog, Pirates and Princesses. Go and have that conversation, because, look, as someone who hired and fired people and had to talk to potential employees for different companies, and government officials, congressmen, etc. My first job in DC. I have to say that if I had a resume where it said he had worked for a news publication for 2 months and left, I would have a lot of I would have a lot of questions, and I would probably call that organization and ask them, "Do you want to comment on this?" All right. And if they say I have no comment, that's your clue that that guy's trouble. All right. And I guarantee you she'll say something like that. All right. I think he was too. I'm not sure. It's just I don't want to talk about him anymore today. So what else was I going to talk about? All right. So we talked about watching how important it is to defeat the negative a narrative of the Kennedy fandom menace, Allied forces, Axis forces, I should say, and watch Ahsoka to support Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, to call people out. Where's your proof about, some sort of Machiavellian plot to remove Jon Favreau by Dave Filoni? They're friends, for fuck's sake, you assholes. You know, what music festival is some other guy? I don't understand what you're talking about. So, call them out for that. Again, there is something happening at Lucasfilm. The office from what Sparrow said is extremely negative right now. And all you see is, from what he's been told, HR has encrypted emails right now. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. It was fun. It is the original real Glenn Miller Orchestra. After he died, I'll give you this short story about Glenn Miller. Glenn Miller, of all the swing era band leaders, was the one everybody remembers. And he was an icon. He was, I tell people, if you, kids, if you want to know what, compared Glenn Miller to somebody nowadays, Lady Gaga. I mean, that's just because that's how big he was. And he was the first leader of the Army Air Force Band, U.S. Army Air Force Band. And he entertained the troops all over England. And was getting ready to go to Paris to entertain the troops that had invaded Normandy and were going into Germany. And I think it was like August or September of 1944, foggy morning. He and a pilot and I think his assistant band leader got into a military plane. It was a fixed wing, one engine prop airplane, and he disappeared. Just disappeared. They don't know what happened to him. Okay. And it's been a mystery ever since. There are people that have actually scoured the floor of the English Channel looking for him. There have been airplanes from World War II discovered, crashed, what looks like along the route they flew, and it wasn't that plane. Eventually, that story they'll find what happened to him. But it was a very, very, very dark day in the history of World War II. And in 1947, Glenn Miller's widow and others came to the idea they could keep his name alive and continue the orchestra. So ever since 1948, 47, there's been the real. There is one. It's called The Glenn Miller Story, Peter, starring Jimmy Stewart. Okay, very fictionalized, by the way. It they it's basically is the orchestra that is his orchestra with his name on it. All right, and the first leader of that orchestra was Tex Beneke, who was a guy that did alto sax. He sat in the first chair. He was also a singer, and if you listen to Chattanooga Choo Choo, he's the singer. All right, and he's also the singer of "I Got a Gal in Kalamazoo," and he got into an argument with the managers and the business side of it and quit, started his own band. Okay. But the guy that is the band leader is young. He's younger, a lot younger than me, who plays alto sax and is the leader. All right, I'm going to tell you something. Glenn Miller played trombone. Okay, so every one of the band leaders back in the day, from Benny Goodman to my other favorite, Harry James, he was the greatest. I mean, Miles Davis said Harry James was the greatest trumpet player that ever lived. Okay, period. I love the Harry James Orchestra. And of course, the Dorsey brothers, Tommy and Jimmy, and oh God, there's so many other ones. Ava Gardner's ex-husband, Artie Shaw, who's crazy. I mean, that literally, clinically nuts. Okay, and I think they were married for like 5.5 seconds, and she was crazy, he was crazy, and that really didn't go well. But they all played their own instruments, so it was a time where the music was really good. Some of it is kind of corny, like if you've got the Woody Woodpecker song. What the fuck? They play it all the time on 40s Junction, and I want to throttle whoever decided to have that play over and over and over. Yes, he was. He was also a great arranger. He wasn't the best trombone player, but like, look, let's put it this way. His arrangement of Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead, I've got that uploaded onto my phone, and the moment Kennedy is gone, you guys are going to get a video with that. And the song is sung, I think, by my husband has a crush on her, Marion Hutton. And she was a great, very young girl at the time. And what time is it? Okay, I got to get going soon, you guys. Yeah, I really do, because I got to take, I got to get gas for the car. She was like 17 or 16 years old. And just some other guy. Who are you talking about? And Glenn Miller, in order for her to come travel with them, adopted her as his daughter. Okay, because he needed a girl singer, and he was going to, she was going to be the girl singer no matter what. So he was her dad, and he basically made sure she was okay, that she wouldn't get in any trouble with the guys, and basically took care of her. Okay. And basically was a father figure to her, and really, 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 not there. It's on here. There's a big band mashup, like in 1986, and she was still alive. And when Tex Beneke was there, and all of them. Kitty Callan looked scary, by the way. She's a great singer, great. And he or she, Marion Hutton, talking about Glenn Miller, was crying. because he really, I mean, was a father figure to her. And look, I don't blame her. That was 40 years when she was a kid. And I understand. I understand that completely. So yeah, it was a good time. Give you the end. They did not do In the Mood until the very end, and they had the kids from the local high school jazz band come up. And let me say this: the lead trumpet for the local jazz band, the kids, must have studied In the Mood trumpet solo because he played it note for fucking note, and he was fucking great. Fucking great. Okay. I mean, I couldn't believe it. So check out In the Mood. You'll find, do a YouTube of Glenn Miller and find the music. Okay. Just do it. Find Chattanooga Choo Choo being sung, and you'll see what Tex Beneke and the Modern Airs look like, and the little blonde girl. That's Marion Hutton. Okay. So I got to go to church. I got to put gas in the car. And I will talk to you guys later. And if we hear anything, I mean, look, we could hear about firings this weekend. Okay, that actually could be announced. We don't know. We don't know what they're doing. Anyway, I'll see you guys around the galaxy. Behave, be safe, and